With Eben Etzebeth looking likely to equal Victor Matfield's Springbok cap record this weekend against Argentina, I thought it would be only fitting to have a deep dive into his career. Before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you found value in it, and of course, as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd always love to hear what you guys think, your opinions. Often sometimes I read a comment and my opinion gets shifted, so thank you for that. It's an interesting experience and often quite humbling, but it's cool to learn from you guys as well. So let me know down in the comments. Let's get into the video. So in this deep dive of Eben Etzebeth, the obvious thing is that he's played 126 caps, which is an incredible achievement on its own. But then actually, if you have a look at the success that he's had and the trophies he's won, it's even more impressive. What's more remarkable is the amount of times he's won the SA Players Player of the Year. I think that sort of speaks to his character. If you look at in those 126 tests, his win percent is 62%. It's not high, but I think it sort of speaks to the character of who Eben Etzebeth is. I don't know him personally, so possibly I'm speaking out of turn here, but from what I've heard and from what I've seen, he's offered a fierce loyalty to the Springboks, and he's been through it all, the dark times and the really, really good times since 2019. If you think about the period before 2019, he's been through some really dark times with the Boks, and he's stuck around. He could easily have decided, no, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go through this. He wants to go overseas and actually forget about it. But he stayed true. And at 24, he plays 50th cap for the Boks. Maybe he thought, no, he's far too deep in it now. He can't get rid of it. And if you think back to the 2015 World Cup, the miracle of Brighton where Japan beat the Springboks, he was there for that. He was there with some experienced faces. If you think about Brian Abana, Jean de Villiers Skalkberger, JP Peterson, all those guys going through a really dark time. Eben Etzebeth was there for that. Eben Etzebeth was there with us in that time. And then if you think about the times a couple of years later in that dark period with 8th or 9th in the world, losing to Italy, losing to Wales, losing to Ireland at that time. Of course, Ireland are a different beast now. Italy are on the rise. But losing to all those sides, getting pumped by New Zealand in New Zealand, a record defeat. He was there for all of that. He's fiercely loyal, and it's been really, really impressive to watch how consistent he has been. I can't think back to a time where Eben was criticized consistently. Everyone has an off day. But I can't think back to a time when Eben was consistently criticized for consistent performances, not up to scratch. He might have the odd bad game, but just next week he's back in it. And if you think back, the obvious things, so he's been through those dark periods where it was, it was a bit gnarly and not great to be a Bok player, and just sort of lost that romance to play for the Springboks back then. And let's be honest, we probably couldn't fill stadiums back then. And now if you think about the 2019 World Cup final, he won the World Cup there. He won the 2021 British and Irish Lions series with the Springboks, and then he's won the 2023 Rugby World Cup with the Springboks. He's captained the Springboks. He also became the second person ever to win the SA Rugby Players Player of the Year award consecutively, 2 years in a row. I think that sort of speaks to his character. What I've noticed about Eben Etzebeth is a deep love for South Africa, a deep love for the Springboks, and a real passion for the Springboks. In those dark periods, it never looked like Eben was going to sort of wave in the flag, and that passion and desire to play for the Springboks never looked like it was lost. I think it looks the same now as it looked back then, probably a little bit more now, because I suppose as players get older, they realize how special it is, because they realize that it might be their time might be limited. But in saying that, Eben Etzebeth is 32 years old. Okay, and hear me out. General trend is that locks get better with age. Eben Etzebeth is probably now entering his prime. The Springboks play between 10 and 12 test matches a year. If you think about the 3 incoming, the 6 rugby championship, and then the 3 outgoing, you can do the maths, but I think it's between 10 and 12, depending on how fit, if you're fit that year or injuries or whatever. I think if Eben could probably go another 8 years. Let's say he stays injury-free, stays playing good rugby, he could smash 200 caps for the Springboks, which is unheard of. It was a massive deal when Percy Montgomery became the first Centurion, because it was unheard of. People didn't do that. I think Eben Etzebeth, should he stay injury-free, should he stay fit and playing good rugby and carrying on being the enforcer that we need, and I believe he can, because as I mentioned, locks I tend to believe get better with age. I think Eben could smash 200 caps quite easily and make that record borderline impossible to beat. And in the deep dive, if you look at it, Eben has won some pretty impressive trophies throughout his career. He's won the Varsity Cup in 2011 with the Ike Tigers. He's won the Under-20 Championship in 2012. He made his debut in 2012 against England at Kings Park in Durban. That's over 10 years, a decade of service to Springbok rugby and South Africans in general. In 2017, he became Springbok captain. Last year, he won the European Challenge Cup with the Sharks. And this Sharks side, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, it is a side to be feared. If you look at the players that they have, it is so stacked. So something tells me that there are going to be a couple more trophies in that locker of Eben Etzebeth in the future. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what message you have for Eben Etzebeth as he approaches the record of the most capped Springbok ever. And do you think he'll reach 200? That is quite a big one. I don't know. I sort of think in my mind that he might. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.